Boom, we're back. We're waiting on a special guest, but then a new special guest just popped in unexpectedly. He joined us yesterday with what is most definitely coined as the greatest debate in BlockDown history. Coming back is Jimmy's son, Song. Where is he? He's supposed to be right here. There he is. Oh my God, you're the talk of the town. Listen, man, we got lots of questions. Thanks for dropping in and saving the show for right now. Listen, I got the community going crazy in our Slido, and they got a bunch of questions, but I'm going to ask a couple questions because I got some. First question, what is your takeaway from yesterday's debate that you were involved in? And maybe bring us through that.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised that Frances went where she went. It was very sort of like government bureaucrat, economist kind of arguments that she was giving, which is kind of what I expected. I didn't expect her to sort of press her frame of mind so much, right? Like it's. She seems to have this mentality of you must submit to this, this view of economics. Otherwise, like you're being kind of stupid, which is kind of what I expected. But good on her for coming out and debating me. It was fun for me. I'm really looking forward to the video. I was telling people yesterday about it at the Austin Bit Devs. That had like 200 people. So. Talking about it there, they were like, "What? I didn't know about this." So when the video comes out, I will be promoting it as soon as possible.
Yeah, it was funny, man. And listen, I don't need to be biased, and you certainly aren't biased, but I was pretty surprised with what she brought to the table because it's exactly what Bitcoin is like built for. And so, yeah, it was pretty fun. Good on you. We have tons of questions coming in from the community. We have people from all over the globe. So I'm just going to rattle them off. I don't know what they are. They can be possibly really inappropriate, but I'm just gonna wing it with you, man.
Let's do it. Let's do rapid fire.
Cool.
Give me question after question.
Let's go. Is people like Elon Musk getting interested in tweeting about Bitcoin actually beneficial to the space?
Of course, he put his money where his mouth is. $1.5 billion from Tesla is coming into Bitcoin. That they are probably going to use it as a treasury asset. I expect that to do like really well and make Tesla into a Bitcoinized company, like a lot of other companies in the space, like MicroStrategies.
I totally agree. I think it brings confidence to everybody, the elder people of my family getting into Bitcoin, that solidifies their view of the safety of it, right? What do you think about Dogecoin's magnificent gains over the last little while?
Well, I mean, it's a meme currency. I don't think altcoins really have value. So I don't think this is anything more than a pump. There will be a dump as well. So, over a longer period of time, Bitcoin always does well. If you happen to be a trader and you're very good at like getting in and out at the right time, then maybe you can make some money. If you're not, I will suggest to you that you're not going to be a good enough trader to get out at the top. You'll probably hold on, hoping that it'll go back up, and you'll get wrecked as a result. You can look at the top 10 altcoins from 4 years ago. I put out a tweet not too long ago about that. They've all done horribly against Bitcoin. Just hold Bitcoin. It's much easier.
Can Bitcoin hit 100K this year? Of course it can, but listen, will it?
I believe so. And by the end of this year, I mean, it's not even that much of a stretch. I think 100K is kind of expected at this point. A more interesting question would be, will it hit 250K this year? I think that's also possible, but we'll see.
Super. Do you ever see a future where cryptocurrencies with larger utilities than BTC could surpass them ultimately becoming the big daddy of the markets? Can you see Bitcoin being surpassed by something else? The answer is no. Who asked that stupid question? Of course, Jimmy Song thinks no. Who's writing these questions? Why is Bitcoin morale? Why is Bitcoin? Wow, who's writing these questions? Listen, Jimmy, I know you're not too interested in too many other things going on, but like other projects or cryptocurrency. But what is
Here,
exciting
let
in
me
the
let me
space?
let me take that last question though, right? Like
Okay.
I'll explain why no. The thing that a lot of people get confused is that they think that they can just evaluate Bitcoin on its technology and that's it. And this is sort of like the people that make analogies and say the Model T was surpassed by other cars or MySpace was surpassed by Facebook and so on. And that's the mental frame from which they're coming. And this is the completely wrong frame because Bitcoin is not just technology, it's also money. And for money, the most important thing is credible long-term scarcity. And Bitcoin has credible long-term scarcity. It's already lasted 12 years. Some other coin that your mom made or something like that is only like a couple of years old. It's probably changed its monetary policy a bunch of times. It has a central controller. It's done all sorts of shady things, like probably do a pre-mine and so on. There's a reason why Bitcoin continues to be, more credible than these other things. The Fed could, for example, put all sorts of bells and whistles on the dollar tomorrow. That doesn't mean that we'll want it any more. I mean, maybe slightly more, but it's not going to surpass the desire that people like me have for Bitcoin because they could print money whenever they want. And credible long-term scarcity is the thing that is missing from not just fiat money, but from all of these other altcoins that are supposedly quote unquote better. You have to be able to evaluate money on its own terms and not through the lens of technology that a lot of people seem to only want to look at it from.
Good stuff. I don't think the people in the community know you too well. What cryptos other than BTC are you holding?
None. I mean, I guess the only shitcoin I hold a little bit of is the US dollar. That's about it.
All right. What projects outside of cryptocurrency token projects, like maybe projects in the decentralized space or the blockchain space, are you excited about?
I'm really excited about Lightning. I like the Sphinx project. That is really cool. You can essentially do private chatting through the Lightning network. It's using essentially the routing capabilities of the Lightning network to really make a decentralized messaging app. There's no central controller. There's no third party that's watching all your messages or anything like that. Everything is wrapped in an onion and so on. So it's really interesting. It's being built on top of Bitcoin, obviously. I think Lightning will be the decentralized web that we all want and not these walled gardens like Facebook and Google and all these other ones. So that's something that I'm super excited about, super bullish on, and it'll make for a whole new class of messaging apps and different ways of communication that we haven't really had before. Imagine like being a doctor and being able to give advice for some sats on the Lightning network, and you have to like pay before you can see the answer to whatever your question might have been.
Sweet. Have you spoken to Frances at all since yesterday? Because supposedly she hasn't been seen anywhere since your debate.
I have not, and I honestly I don't pay much attention to her. It's just for the purposes of the debate that I did. I don't know. She doesn't seem to engage in a particularly interesting way for most people. So I don't know. I just sort of ignore it.
What other than Lightning Network could be some cool features to add to Bitcoin in the near future to make it more adoptable and more accessible and more maybe like money?
I mean, it's already money. The mistake that a lot of people make is that, Bitcoin must need me in order to succeed. No, Bitcoin doesn't need you at all. You need Bitcoin. The fact of the matter is there is inflation going on all over the world, and the way to protect yourself against all sorts of central bank shenanigans is to go grab Bitcoin. That said, there are other technologies that I am excited about. I think sidechain, something like Liquid, the ability to get in and out of things quickly, confidential transactions on that are pretty awesome as far as privacy goes. There's also stuff like state chains, which allow for sort of semi-custodial solutions to quick transfers. As a company, if you're running some sort of a state chain network, then you don't you don't have custody, but you facilitate transactions. So you don't have to necessarily get like AML KYC licenses and things like that. So lots of really interesting projects, and those are just a couple. There's a whole lot more on top, and I would suspect that there's as the Bitcoin network monetizes more and more, we're at like 1.2 trillion in market cap right now. As it gets to 10 trillion or more, you're going to see a lot more of these projects and a lot more people building on it. So I think a lot of the stuff happening on Lightning, on top of Lightning, I would call something like layer 3. This is the decentralized web that we're all looking for. That I think is going to completely change how we view the internet, how we view privacy, how we can do things in a way that's outside of the purview of all these tech giants, where you get a lot of things for free, but if you're getting it for free, you're the product and you're being sold to a lot of different analytics companies and advertisers and all these other places that are essentially using your data for their own benefit and don't care about you at all.
So you've been in the space for an incredibly long time compared to most people. So you've been hanging with the OGs of the space. They're all legendary, just like yourself. You've got lots of stories. We've heard lots of stories. We've even seen lots of stories with you involved. Another one just happened yesterday. But can you tell a story from maybe like pre-2015 that nobody knows about, that you've never told anybody, that's juicy and fun?
I've told this story before, but I don't know if this audience necessarily knows about it. But back in 2013, I was working on a Bitcoin open source project called Colorcoin. So it's basically some a protocol on top of Bitcoin. It was supposed to be like token issuance on top of Bitcoin, something like that. So I was working on this thing, and I was working with a guy in the Ukraine, and he was actually kind of paying me in Bitcoin, which was awesome for an open source project. Some of the best money that I've made to date is at least on a per hour basis was still back back then, because obviously Bitcoin price was much less than it is now. But we had basically completed the Color Coins project, and we asked this young kid to write a white paper for Color Coins, and we paid him some Bitcoin, and he wrote the white paper, and we read it, and it was completely different than what we had implemented. So we asked him to make some changes. He kind of refused, and we were like, "What the heck? Why are you refusing to change this stuff?" And he said, "Well, I don't think this is the way it should be. I have my own ideas." And we're like, "Okay, well then, I guess we're gonna have to part ways." And he's like, "Yeah, all right, that's fine. I kind of want to make my own coin anyway." That guy, that young kid, 19-year-old from Canada, his name was Vitalik Buterin, and the coin that he launched was Ethereum. So from the very beginning, I knew what was coming, and I didn't invest because I didn't think it would be secure. I think my thesis proved right that it wouldn't be secure. It hasn't been, but I was wrong about how popular it would be regardless, because obviously he and the entire Ethereum team spent a tremendous amount of money on marketing, which I completely underestimated.
Fantastic. Jimmy, listen, man, thank you so much for the support. Thank you for being with us. You've been with us before. This is the 1-year anniversary of BlockDown. Who would have thought that this virus would still be kicking around and keeping people indoors and whatever, but at least we're together. Me and you, Jimmy, me and you are together. Thank you for joining us, my friend, and we'll see you on the next BlockDown, hopefully, man. Take care, and see you later.
All right, see you later.